Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. So let's address the elephant in the room. You're probably looking at me and thinking, is she in a bathrobe? Yes, I am. And let me explain why. Last Sunday, after I got done the video, had a very normal, sorry, I'm going to pull you guys closer. Had a very normal Sunday afternoon. Ate dinner, watched some TV, basics. I took a shower, which I do. Every night before bed, I take a shower. Then I go lay in my bedroom and watch TV for a little bit until I fall asleep, right? Till I get sleepy. Last Sunday night, I'm doing all that. I get out of the shower and I'm like, why does my lower back feel so burning and itching? So, of course, I put my hand behind my back and I can feel bumps. Now, let me flash back a little bit to the week before. The week before, I was having pain in my left leg and my lower back, right? And I think it's sciatica because of where it is. I touch my lower back, I feel the bumps on my lower back, and I realize, holy shit, I have shingles. So next, I go to sleep, call my boss in the morning, tell her I won't be in, go to the local urgent care. And I was right. I have shingles. So I was out of work for the first 3 days of last week, I guess. Last week, yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of last week. So I got a lot of patterns done. But the reason I got a lot of patterns done is because sitting is kind of difficult because of where the shingles are. It's exactly where you would bend to sit. So I'm okay standing for a while. And I'm okay laying down for a while, but I'm not so good at sitting for too long. So this should be an interesting show. But regardless, I am here. I am wearing my bathrobe because I will probably go back and lay down for a little bit after I get done this video because shingles are not to be messed with. They are incredibly painful. And the fact that they're still causing pain in my actual muscles is really, really disheartening. Because I think I take the last dose of the medication tomorrow. And the shingles themselves have kind of gotten, dried up. And, but I still have all this muscle pain. And apparently this can last for weeks after the shingles have kind of gone, after the actual, bumps are gone. And I'm not looking forward to this. So anyway, let's talk about McCall's patterns, but first we're going to talk about another Goodwill trip I did. After I went to Goodwill earlier in the week and I showed you guys what I found that lovely melamine. I'm probably going to move around a lot because I have to a little bit. Sugar bowl and creamer set, which I love. I put them through the dishwasher. They look awesome. I went back just to look around because there have been sporadically 1 or 2 patterns here or there. So I went back to look and I didn't find patterns, but I found a bunch more fabric. And so I'm going to show you the fabric I got. So let me tell you that a lot of this fabric is actually the African style of fabric, which you'll see this one specifically is very much, right? That beautiful African style. Some of it's very traditional, like this. This is so fabulous. It's faux fur. It's like the kind of stuff they use for costuming, and I don't know what else you would use it for, but it's completely faux. I just love it. It's leopard. It's a small piece, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. There was some stuff like this. I thought this was so cute. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's sparkly. And then this. This is interesting, a little more kind of an African style also. And this, which I thought was so pretty. This is very deco to me. And oh, and here's the bag from the fabric. So it was $5.99 for all that fabric. And then I also got this, which was, I think this was $4.99. And it was little scraps like this, These are definitely upholstery style fabrics, but I really like them. very Tommy Bahama, right? In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I look at the salvage and find out that they are from like Tommy Bahama. There was a lot of this. I'm trying to figure out what to do with this because there was a lot of this stuff. And I was like, I wonder what I could make out of this. Let me see the salvage. It doesn't say Tommy Bahama. So there you go. All right. So in that fabric was also this thing, which I opened up immediately and thought, oh, it's some kind of a tablecloth, right? It's bordered and it's already, but it's not. It has this saying on the bottom. I don't think I can get the whole thing in frame, but so I Googled it because I was curious to what it said. And it says something to the effect of, and I'm sure this is a very bad Google translation, something to the effect of, this couple does not want to hear your negative comments, right? So I work with a nice man, Richard from Ghana, and I asked him about this, and he said, yeah, they're pretty common, and they always have sayings like that on them, and people do use them as tablecloths. Sometimes they hang them on a wall or whatever. And so I didn't want to be disrespectful to this fabric, so I said, well, like, are they sacred? Or, and he goes, oh no, you can get them at like places like Walmart. So I'm laughing. So it is very pretty fabric, and I may end up cutting it up. You guys see how pretty it is. But whoever owned all this fabric, man, it all smells like patchouli to the point where it's like making me a little bit nauseous. It's so much patchouli. She loved her some patchouli. So anyway, let's get on to patterns. Like I said, I have like a whole stack of patterns over here because I was able to get so much done because the standing was more comfortable than the sitting. And then if my legs started to really hurt, because the muscles in my legs really hurt, I would go lay down for a while. So it was standing or laying down, not much sitting. So this is interesting. I decided when I was working on McCalls to go into my other McCalls. I had some older patterns from a very old haul that I did. Probably the haul that I did that was the huge one from Goodwill that time, where it was just shopping carts full of patterns. And they were cut and I never dealt with them. I kind of put them aside and I thought, I'm going to pull some of these out. These are basically all 80s, a very little bit of 90s. So I thought, well, I'm going to pull out those patterns and I'm going to finish, just throw them in and get them out of the way. So I had 2 of these. Now here's the funny thing. It's 2 patterns. They're the same size. By the way, there's no line drawings because they're McCalls. They're the same pattern, same sizes. They're both cut. The same pattern pieces are cut. Someone made this out of both of these. And I have to assume they belong to the same person, but I cannot figure out why you wouldn't just cut the pattern once and use the pieces twice. Why would you? I can't figure out what they were thinking, but there's 2 of them. And along that vein, I'll take this one out of the envelope. This nice vintage 1980s McCalls. I love the fact that this one actually has the nightcap, which is kind of funny. Like very, very cottagecore, very Laura Ingalls. And yes, a pattern from Sherry Belafonte Harper, which is so, current because her father passed this week, which was so sad that Harry Belafonte passed this week. But man, 98 was he? What a good life. What a great life. And Godspeed to him. I think everybody really loves him. I remember Harry Belafonte from Sesame Street. Yeah, because I'm that old. Yeah, I'm that old. Oh, okay. And this pattern. All right. So this pattern, cute little dress, partially cut. They made the view in the middle here, the one with the kind of like no pizzazz, none of the borders or anything going on. But I'm looking at it and the directions look like someone took a knife while the directions were folded, or like a razor really, and slashed it. flipped it over and slashed it again. Don't know why. I was trying to figure out if it was something that was done by the store, but they're still completely usable. I mean, I put them up on my site. I mean, they're still completely usable. You just open them up and just be careful not to rip them. That's all. And I don't know. It was just really odd. Oh, also had 2 of these. These are still uncut, factory folded. These were 2 different sizes, which is kind of nice. You know, kind of a really nice dress. I don't love like all this, but this is, it's a cute dress. Just the really basic elements. Again, no line drawings on the back because it's McCalls, and they really are stingy with the line drawings. Oh, and this, the house dress to end all house dresses. Got some more of the Woman's Day collection. Kind of cool. Has like a lace up back. I kind of remember when dresses like this were in style. Vaguely remember that. Oh, and speaking of cottagecore, it does not get much more cottagecore than this. And yes, the pattern includes the appliques, so you can put a cow, a pig, or a bunny on your dress. And it's a pinafore. It's a pinafore and a petticoat and the blouse. So it is the whole outfit. But the skirt is separate from the blouse, and then the pinafore goes over it. So if that's your thing. Just a really nice basic kind of late 80s, early 90s shirt pattern. I think this was 97. It's still got shoulder pads. So we were still rocking the shoulder pads then. Back to Basics, which I guess was a McCalls line. I don't remember this line. But, a Fashion Basics suit pattern. It's like a 2-piece dress or a skirt suit, whichever you want to call it. Nonstop wardrobe. Again, no line drawings on the back. Really stingy with those line drawings. Oh. I really liked this pattern, but it didn't go up to my size. But I really like this dress. I'm digging those pockets. It's very, 80s does 40s. If any of you were around like me in the 80s, a lot of the clothes had a very 40s kind of style to them. Hey, Olivia, you're not late. Drop waist with a fancy collar, several fancy collars. A little more cottagecore for you. We love those drop yoke waists, didn't we? Oh, okay. So here's our first Liz pattern. We're going to see lots of Liz Claiborne, which makes sense because she was kind of the queen, of women's wear, women's separate sportswear type stuff in the 80s, wasn't she? And Mariette Hartley, for those of you who don't know who she is, Mariette Hartley was an actress. There's no line drawings on this, by the way. Mariette Hartley was an actress. She is, I think, most famous for, she's most famous for doing these commercials with James Garner for the, was it the Polaroid camera? And it's funny because she ended up doing an episode of the Rockford Files, but not till after they'd started doing those commercials, which was really funny. I think that's what she's most famous for. I don't know what else she really did. I don't remember really seeing her in many movies or anything, but. Oh, Olivia, is it really hot there? Okay. Funny story. The other day, was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday night, maybe Thursday night. It had been warm. And that night we got a hailstorm and it was ice. And there was actual ice, like little chips of like ice chips on my car. Yeah, I've been in the Midwest when you get those when it gets really hot and all of a sudden the sky gets gray and it gets windy and you get those fierce storms in the Midwest. They are scary. A little more Liz. There's a lot of Liz in this section of patterns. This is a little more of that dynasty feel. This does not particularly say dynasty on it like that pattern I took the picture of, but you guys know what I'm talking about. More Liz. This is, by the way, just the skirts. And this, of course, you see them, I see them. Culottes. Yes, this pattern is pants, skirts, or culottes. A lot of these patterns are really great because they're very basic patterns. They're the kind of pattern that you'll make, you know, you buy once and you make the stuff over and over and over again. Hello, Marie. Maria, sorry. Is it Maria or Maria? Marie. Oh, and it's windy in Colorado. Trouser pattern. Yes, I used to live in Colorado. Colorado is another place where you get these storms that just seem to come out of nowhere. I remember one June, and I'm sure everybody in Colorado has a similar story. It was like 98 degrees at noon, and then by 2, it started to snow, and my windshield was so warm that it cracked when the snow hit it. Yeah. That's when I figured out why everybody in Colorado seemed to have a cracked windshield. That was why. Another Women's Day collection pattern. And here she is in the flesh. Joan, this was such a confusing pattern. I'll show you the up close of the picture of the front. So the front says Nolan Miller Dynasty Pattern, and it's signed by Joan Collins. I have no idea what that makes. That makes no sense whatsoever. They don't have Nolan Miller, who designed it, sign it. They have Joan Collins, who, obviously there she is. She's pictured, right? Such a strange pattern. Yeah, all 4 seasons in a day is a very common thing in Colorado. I mean, it's actually pretty common in New Jersey too, but not quite to the extreme as it is in Colorado. Oh, this dress. I swear I had this dress. I don't think I had it in the striped, and I had the striped version, but I think I had it in, and everybody hold your horses. It was like a pink satiny material, but if you looked at it closely, it had like a damask of like little flowers all over it, but in the fabric, because that was the thing back in the day. Another great trousers pattern. She had several trousers patterns, but she didn't seem to use them. They were all uncut. So, and the Gap. Look at that. The very beginning of the Gap. Lots of shirt patterns in the McCalls. I'm not sure why, but tons and tons of 80s shirt patterns. Like this whole stack here is basically shirt patterns. But that's what I was saying. That was nice about this little, ilk of patterns that I did. They were really practical patterns. Like you bought it, it had 3 or 4 shirts. You had 3 or 4 styles of shirts that you could make, trouser patterns, skirt, trouser, or culotte patterns, like things you would really use over and over again. I was actually a little surprised that there were so many that were uncut, because they were really practical patterns, I don't know who this is. Basile. I don't remember them as a designer. Cute blouse. Another little bit on the cottagecore side, right? But really cute. Still can't figure out what this means, NP. But can you see this over here? The pattern was cut. This is literally, it's cut. It's not even like critters or anything. Somebody cut the corner of the pattern, but they didn't get the pattern itself or the directions. They only did it on the envelope. So I don't know what that means. Here's another one. Remember I was talking about last week, some of the patterns had free on them. This one was free. Again, I don't know why. This is cute. And this kind of 1920s throwback is super cute and hard to find patterns that have that kind of 1920s feel to them, right? And then, oh yes, look at this. This is interesting because this is a vest, the shirt, and the skirt. It's very boho. It's a kind of a strange pattern, but you know. All right, so aside from those patterns, I had told you that a woman had contacted me about children's patterns. So I did some children's patterns. So we're going to take a look at those. And we're also going to take a look at some Buttericks. When I was getting the simplicities ready for next week, because next week we're going to do simplicity and we're going to do 90s and we're going to do like back to 1985. And then everything else is going to be 60s, 70s, and 80s kind of divided up because this whole table is completely covered with simplicity patterns. And she really likes simplicity patterns. She has more simplicity than any other patterns, which I understand is why she has why I was able to buy 2 simplicity pattern filing cabinets from hers, because she loves simplicity. So anywho, when I was doing that, I found a bunch of Butterick that I missed. So I'm going to show you these kids' patterns. We're going to finish up with these Buttericks. And that might be it for me, because I'm telling you, shingles, nothing to fool around with. For those of you that were late, like Olivia said, Maria, you said you were late. Olivia said you were late. I was diagnosed with shingles this week. Last Sunday, when I was doing after I did my little show, after I took a shower that night, I felt this burning, itching feeling on my back. And sure enough, there were little bumps all over my back, and my leg had been bothering me, and shingles. Okay, this is so cute. So by the way, she did end up buying a bunch of patterns from me, but none of these. So it's all right. I got a little bit ahead in the kids' patterns. Speaking of, when I was going through boxes and kind of cleaning up my bathroom, I found a whole nother box of kids' patterns that I hadn't laid out yet to be like, organized and aired out. So there's even more kids' patterns than I remember. And these are all uncut. So, look how cute that is. This was actually, I think this was an unprinted pattern, and it looks like it's been used, but it's an excellent shape. And this one, oh, this poor little thing. This is a wounded bird. I put it up online anyway. The sleeve piece is missing, but you could draft a sleeve piece pretty easily for this. And then this, oh, so cute. So cute. And it's got the little bloomers. And the hat even, wow, even the hat. And yeah, look, I got ahead of myself a little bit with the Stitch and Save, because the See and Sew and Stitch and Save are still in there haunting me. All right, so let's take a look at the Buttericks. The Buttericks were pretty fab. Oh, and you know what? I found this one stray Berta pattern, and it's been cut, but it's an excellent shape, and it's a super easy pattern. So I just put it up online. It only has like 4 pieces or something. So yeah, so let's talk about these. So this pattern was cut, but only the jacket. So all the fabulousness of this totally groovy pattern is still in there. And here's the line drawings. It was truly groovy, but not nearly as groovy. I'm going to take this one out of the envelope as this. I don't even know what you would, I would call this the cottagecore suit. So yes, it is everything you see there. It's the maxi skirt, the trousers, those wide leg trousers, the jacket, and that strange, it's a blouse. It actually buttons up the back. You can see it in the line drawing. See how it buttons? But like really, yeah, really don't know what you would categorize this as, but somebody will love it. Hopefully somebody will love it. They'll make some of it or all of it, and they'll feel fabulous. Come on. That is my hope for all my little children, is that my little children find good homes, my little pattern children. Pantsuits. Oh, this doesn't have any line drawings on the back. Okay. Oh, because they're on the front. They're there. So this is like a tunic, which you can shorten into a shirt, and it comes with these lovely bell bottoms. are part of the pattern also. Here's a line drawing, but it's not really, doesn't really show you anything more specific. And then this, you have to love a pattern that comes with a pattern for a mini skirt that you can barely see and shorts. And of course, the tunic. This was from 1971. I had to try and find it. And I found somebody that knew the date. It was 1971. I was like, it looks very 1971, doesn't it? And then here we go. Chinos. Yeah, it's a pattern for those pants. And they are obviously chinos. And the top. It's kind of nice. Not a lot of pieces, but thought that was a pretty cool pattern. And again, I'm finding like that one is like a 14, 16, I think. A lot of her patterns are 18s and 14s and 16s, which is nice because, again, even if you're not a lot bigger, these are pattern sizes, not vanity sizes, right? So when you have to size them up, it's a lot easier when it's, 2 inches and not 6, Oh, I am now going to have to get the shingles shot, but now I have to wait until, I think they told me a month. I know, how 70s is this? And yes, it comes with the applique pattern for this fabulous, it's a flower. I don't know what flower that is, but yes, shingles are not to be messed with. They are not, they really hurt. And at first I just thought, okay, I'm getting pain in my left leg. I'm getting sciatica, right? I need to start stretching more or whatever. Nope. That's not what it was. Oh, and there's no line drawings on this. So there was the little line drawings down there. And it doesn't say this is made for double knit polyester, but I'm going to guess this is made for double knit polyester, right? It has that look. And then just like this very nice early 80s kind of. I think I actually when I posted this online, I think I actually called this the secretary's dress because these used to be known as secretary's dress. Also, the one with the tie up front would also be considered a secretary's dress. And it was because I guess they got worn by secretaries. So next week, we're going to start doing simplicity. And boy, we're getting into the home stretch. My goal is to have, I want to do the kids patterns during like hopefully the last 2 weeks of school, which would be like, we get out June 15th because they didn't have any snow days this year, which was really nice. So we get out June 15th, which is nice to get out like kind of a normal time and not, every year they tend to tack on a day because we have a snow day. Well, we didn't have any this year. So it was nice. It was really nice. And after that, I don't even know. I can't decide whether I want to start working on the C&Sos because there's so many of them, or if I want to skip to the patterns for crafts because there's about a box of those. And then I am going to have to start the endless task of going through cut patterns because there's so many cut patterns in there. I think the month of August, which is the month I have off, I drive for summer school, but summer school here is only the month of July. So we start like July 4th, or not July 4th, July 5th, or whenever, the next day is after that. And then we go through August 5th. So it's like a whole month off, right? I might be I'm hoping to start working on the cut patterns by then. So then we'll start doing cut pattern shows. And that's going to be interesting because I have no idea what we're going to find in there. I haven't really looked at them other than when I was going through the patterns to sort them, like going, okay, you're cut, you're going in a box. So I do remember seeing lots of cool vintage patterns. A lot of 60s and 50s, the ones that were 40s or older, I grabbed because I just felt like they needed attention. because they could be really degrading because they're so old, so I grabbed those, but but that's going to be about it. I'm going to go and lay down some more because I just don't feel good at all. It's amazing that this basically the chickenpox virus can make you feel so awful. I'm taking the Valtrex. The Valtrex is killing my stomach. It is so hard on your stomach, and the pill is like this big, right? So that's no fun. But anyway, next week we will start with simplicity. We're going to do 90s, and we're going to do 1985 through the 90s. I did find one pattern. It is technically going to be, so far, the youngest pattern I found. It's a pajama bottom pattern from 2002. It's a simplicity pajama bottom, like a unisex pajama pattern. But that's really hard to say. Pajama bottom pattern from 2002. So that is the youngest pattern so far that I've found. It's only 21 years old. Unlike most of the patterns that are 30, 40, 45, 50 years old, So anyway, until next week, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope wherever you are, the weather's not too crazy. It's been really crazy here, and I can see from what you guys are saying, it's been pretty crazy. And until then, have a great week. Stay well, avoid the shingles, and I will see you next week. Bye.